Welcome, Class 11 students, to an exciting journey into the heart of chemistry. Today, we are diving into classification of elements and periodicity in properties, specifically focusing on periodic trends in atomic radii. Understanding atomic size is fundamental to grasping why elements behave the way they do. We'll explore this topic across 4 levels: easy, medium, hard, and hardest, building your knowledge step by step for a strong G main foundation. Let's begin. Ready to uncover the secrets behind atomic sizes? In this easy segment, we'll grasp the basic definition of atomic radius and understand its fundamental trends across the periodic table. First, what exactly is atomic radius? Imagine an atom as a tiny sphere. Its radius is the distance from the nucleus to its outermost electron shell. It tells us about the atom's size. However, electrons don't have fixed boundaries, so we use practical definitions like covalent radius, which is half the distance between two identical atoms bonded together. This helps us quantify atomic size. Now, let's look at the trends. Across a period, from left to right, atomic radius generally decreases. Why? Because the nuclear charge increases, pulling the electrons in the same shell closer. Down a group, from top to bottom, atomic radius increases. This is due to the addition of new electron shells, placing outer electrons further from the nucleus, despite increased nuclear charge. Time to test your understanding. Try these 3 practice questions. Which element is larger between Na and Mg? Arrange F, Cl, Br by increasing atomic radius. And finally, explain why atomic radius decreases as you move across a period. Pause the video, think, and resume when you're ready for the answers. Great job with the basics. Now, let's deepen our understanding of atomic radii by exploring the factors that influence them and delving into more precise definitions. We've learned about covalent radius, but let's expand. Metallic radius is half the distance between metal atoms in a crystal. Then there's van der Waals radius, representing non-bonded atoms, which is generally the largest. Understanding these distinctions is crucial because atomic size isn't a single, fixed value. It depends on how atoms interact. What truly controls atomic size? 2 main factors: effective nuclear charge, or ZEF, which is the net positive pull on outer electrons. A higher ZEF means a smaller atom. The other factor is the number of electron shells. More shells mean larger atoms, as outer electrons are further away. The shielding effect, where inner electrons block nuclear charge, also plays a role in these dynamics. Let's revisit the trends with more detail. Across a period, ZEF increases significantly, even with some shielding, pulling electrons closer and decreasing radius. Down a group, the addition of new electron shells and increased shielding effect become dominant. These factors outweigh the increase in nuclear charge, leading to a substantial increase in atomic size. Remember, it's a delicate balance of these forces. Ready for some more challenging questions? Explain why van der Waals radius is typically larger than covalent radius. How does effective nuclear charge influence atomic radius across a period? Compare the sizes of nitrogen, phosphorus, and oxygen. If an element has high ZEF, what does that imply about its radius? And finally, what 2 factors explain the increase in radius down a group? Good luck! Excellent progress! Now, let's tackle the complexities. In this hard level, we'll explore exceptions, ionic radii, and the quantitative aspects of effective nuclear charge. While trends are clear, there are important exceptions. For transition elements, the d block contraction occurs due to poor shielding by d electrons, leading to less predictable size changes. Even more striking is the lanthanide contraction, a significant decrease in size across the lanthanides. This is caused by the exceptionally poor shielding of 4f electrons, making post-lanthanide elements unusually small, like zirconium and hafnium having almost identical sizes. Let's talk about ions. Cations, formed by losing electrons, are always smaller than their parent atoms because of fewer electron shells or increased Ceph. Anions, formed by gaining electrons, are always larger due to increased electron-electron repulsion. For isoelectronic species, which have the same number of electrons, the ionic radius decreases as the nuclear charge increases. This is a critical concept for predicting ion sizes. Understanding effective nuclear charge, or ZEF, is key. It's the net positive charge an outer electron actually experiences. Slater's rules help us approximate this. A higher ZEF means a stronger pull, resulting in a smaller atomic or ionic radius. Furthermore, we can compare different types of radii. Van der Waals is the largest, followed by metallic, and then covalent, which is the smallest due to electron sharing and orbital overlap. Now for some harder questions. Explain why Fe superscript 2 is smaller than Fe but O superscript 2 is larger than O's. Arrange K, Cl, S superscript 2, Ca superscript 2 by increasing ionic radii. What causes the lanthanide contraction and its main consequence? Why don't transition metal radii decrease steadily? Compare Zr and HF radii. What about Cl's van der Waals versus covalent radius? And finally, how does ZEF change for a cation? Take your time, these require deeper thought. You've mastered the hard concepts. Prepare for the ultimate challenge. In this hardest level, we'll dive into relativistic effects, advanced measurement, and the real-world impact of atomic size on materials science and chemical properties. For very heavy elements, relativistic effects come into play. Electrons moving at near light speed experience increased mass, causing s and p orbitals to contract. This subtly alters atomic radii, sometimes explaining deviations from expected trends, like gold's surprisingly small size. Accurately measuring these tiny dimensions involves techniques like X-ray and electron diffraction for crystalline solids and gas phase molecules, along with precise spectroscopic methods to determine interatomic distances. Atomic size isn't just a theoretical concept, it profoundly impacts chemical properties. Smaller atoms generally have higher ionization enthalpies and electron affinities, as electrons are held more tightly. This also influences bond lengths and electronegativity. In materials science, atomic radii are crucial. Similar sizes are needed for alloy formation, influencing strength and ductility. They dictate crystal structures, density, and are fundamental in designing semiconductors, where precise atomic spacing is key for electronic properties. Beyond the major trends, subtle factors like electron-electron repulsion and spin pairing energy can cause minor deviations in atomic size. Electron-electron repulsion can slightly expand electron clouds, while orbital penetration, the extent to which an electron can get close to the nucleus, affects the effective nuclear charge and thus the radius. This is why s electrons are more tightly bound than p electrons in the same shell. Finally, let's connect atomic radii to the diagonal relationship. This phenomenon, where elements like lithium and magnesium show similar properties, is partly due to their comparable atomic and ionic radii. The decrease in size across a period is balanced by an increase down a group, resulting in similar effective sizes for these diagonal pairs. This similarity in size leads to comparable charge densities and polarizing powers, explaining their analogous chemical behaviors. Time for the ultimate test. Questions 1 through 5. Explain relativistic effects on gold's radius. Describe two techniques for measuring atomic radii. How does atomic radius affect ionization enthalpy and electron affinity? Discuss the role of atomic radii in alloy formation. And finally, how are atomic radii and doping critical for semiconductors like silicon and germanium? Tackle these challenging problems. Here are questions 6 through 10. Explain why a neutral atom is larger than its cation but smaller than its anion. Detail the lanthanide contractions effect on ZR and HF. How do electron-electron repulsion and orbital penetration cause subtle variations in radii? Why is van der Waals radius always larger than covalent radius? And lastly, describe the diagonal relationship, highlighting the role of atomic radii for Li and AMG. Good luck, you've got this. You've just completed a comprehensive journey through the periodic trends of atomic radii, from basic definitions to advanced competitive insights. This topic is crucial for GME, forming the bedrock for understanding chemical behavior. For more such in-depth content and to ace your exams, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Keep learning, keep growing.